Good afternoon, my fellow YouTubers. This is your main man, Teddy T, coming back at you once again. My article today is going to focus on an app that I use when I do rideshare called Mile IQ. Mile IQ. Now, this is something that a lot of you Lyft drivers and Uber drivers should really pay attention to. It's going to be very helpful once I explain it to you. So, what Mile IQ is an app that's available in Google Play Store that will help you track your mileage when you're doing rideshare. Because personally, when I first joined rideshare, I really didn't realize that what was happening was I was writing down my miles on a piece of paper, like every day. And then at the end of the month, I would just add them all up, and then the next month and the next month. And then I found this app called Mile IQ, and it explained how the Mileage IQ app would keep track of your miles, and that way you wouldn't have to worry about writing them down on a piece of paper. And subsequently, what that did was it helped me to keep better track of my mileage, and it helped me to, at the end of the year, to claim those miles. Now, the other thing I want to tell you in relation to that is when it comes to doing your taxes, because we're still in the midst of tax season, even though that ends around April 15th. And so what's happening is that you would be able to actually deduct the amount of the cost of Mile IQ on your taxes, because it is a tool that you use in the course of your business. And I encourage all of you to save your gas receipts if you buy tires, if you do oil changes, if you do repairs to the vehicle, if you buy headlights, windshield wiper blades, air filters, any of that stuff that's required to operate the vehicle in a safe manner, brakes, etc. You are allowed by law to deduct those expenses as part of your rideshare business. So you should keep those receipts and keep them handy. But the Mile IQ app, currently, they will allow you to have 40 free trackings per month. But once you exceed the 40, you would have to upgrade to the professional Mile IQ, and the cost is $59.99, I believe it is, per year. So if you think about the fact that you could complete several rides, that would more than pay for that app, it's worth it. So in the event that you didn't feel it was worth it that way, just think about the fact that you can deduct that off of your taxes, and Mile IQ basically becomes free because you're able to deduct it. So it has a benefit. It has good benefit. And the other good thing about how the app functions is it keeps track of your mileage. It will ask you to enter your vehicle's information and your starting odometer. And every year at the beginning of the year, it will send you a message and ask you to enter your current mileage. So every January, you just enter your current mileage. And in a way, it's also keeping track of your start and end mileage for the year. So it's like an additional backup to your mileage submissions to the government, so that if anyone should actually question you about your mileage, you can produce that log and it will show your mileage beginning and end. And I was actually quite stunned when I looked at how much mileage I actually, because I started Uber and Lyft in 2017, and I was actually surprised to see that I had started out with the vehicle being brand new. I started on Lyft with about 7,000 miles, and currently I'm up to 123,000 miles. So in 3 years, I've put quite a bit of mileage on my vehicle. But my vehicle is in top condition. I constantly change the oil. I change brakes. I just put brand new rotors on, brand new tires. So there is an expense. But again, like I said, I submitted those documents and I was allowed to deduct those expenses on my taxes. So in the short, if you're short sighted, in the short run it's expensive, but in the long run it pays for itself. So it's worth it to me. So personally, I just make sure that I keep my vehicle in top condition for rideshare. The other thing is that it allows you to document exactly what you're doing. So you can put in, it has a filter that will allow you to filter it down to a business or personal commute. And personally, I have had in the past a couple commutes that when I turned the app on, I was so busy with the app being on that I actually forgot to actually end it at the end of the day. And so I actually accumulated other miles that I was running errands on. So when I realized that, I would get a message from them saying, Miles IQ was tracking your mileage, and do you want this to be personal or business? And you can swipe left for personal, swipe right for business. And I also discovered a cool feature because I was able to actually classify it specifically as ride share. And what I did was when I swiped to the right, I discovered that they sent me a update saying that I could actually swipe halfway to the right, and then as I swiped it halfway to the right, a whole list of business options that I actually had entered. One was rideshare, one said business, one said airport and travel, one said home. I was able to click on rideshare, and each one of those rides is now classified as a rideshare ride. So it also stores all of those rides, and I have every single ride stored from 2017 to the present on this app. And you can just go back. You can print out the entire year. You can print out a specific month. You can print out a specific week. All you do is pair it with your printer, and you can print out this information. So in the rare case that you would ever get audited by the IRS, you're able to print this information out, and they can check it against Uber's and Lyft's records, which also is submitted at the time of your when you get your statement at the end of the year. So they can balance those hours against the tracking by Mile IQ, and you'll be golden. So I have never had a problem so far in the past 3 years. I haven't been audited, and thank God, I'm knocking on wood that I won't get audited. But when I do my taxes through TurboTax, it is they assess your risk of being audited based on the information that you submit to them. They assess your risk, and they tell you whether or not you face a risk of being audited. But even if you did or did not face the risk of audit, it's still a good tool to have so that you can have your mileage backed up. So it is a good tool. I would recommend that everyone who does rideshare do this. It is much simpler than trying to estimate that I used 20,000 miles or I use 10,000 miles, you can track it. It operates on your phone just like your Uber and Lyft app operates. It doesn't run in the background and all that stuff. You can shut it down. Sometimes I forget to turn it on immediately when I do my ride share, and so I might miss a mile or two here and there. I'm not that concerned about that, but when I do remember, I turn the app on. So I try to get into the habit of every time I turn Uber or Lyft on, I turn on Mile IQ, and actually I have the icon sitting right next to both apps so that I can kind of give myself a reference that, oh, I'm getting ready to turn my Uber app on. Let me turn my mileage tracking IQ on as well. That way I have both apps running at the same time, and it's tracking and it's helping me keep track, and it makes it much simpler. And like I said, I went and printed out one time my mileage, and I just was amazed at all the rides that I had done and the amount of mileage. But it's a good tool, and I recommend. So I would go to Google Play Store, and all you have to do is type in MILE space IQ, or you can just make it one whole word, MILEIQ. The app will pop up. You click on install. It installs onto your phone. You want it on your home screen. And just as a point of reference, a good idea is like what I did is install Mile IQ right next to your Uber Lyft app. That way you'll see it. It's right in front of your face, and you'll be able to track your miles and save yourself a headache, because this was just something I'm just passing along that was happened to me. This was something that happened to me, I meant to say. And so I just decided that it was easier to just simply track it that way instead of trying to keep pieces of paper around trying to keep track of my mileage. So, again, thanks for listening. This is another tip from your man, Teddy T. I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe out there in your travels, and use your precautions. Make sure you wipe down your door handles and spray your disinfectant spray, especially in this particular time when we're going through this coronavirus. I promise you, despite what is being said, that this virus will halt in its tracks eventually. This virus will be contained. I emphatically believe that. It was just like the Ebola virus. It was contained. The vaccine was given and it was contained. Once this vaccine has been vetted and released to the public, this virus will be contained. But in the meantime, I just suggest that you do that. I did that today. Every time people get out, I spray the car down, I wipe down the handles, and keep everybody as well as myself safe. So I pass that along to you. And I also want to say, if you are new to my channel, if you like the content that I am providing, I would ask that you click that subscribe button and hit the like button. I am trying to build my channel. I'm trying to provide content that I think would be helpful. This was another thing that I provided that I thought might be helpful. I also had a video on rideshare insurance that I passed along the other day. I am constantly trying to think of new ideas to present content. I know that this is a very tough thing to do, but I am trying to pass along my experiences, my personal experiences, to help other drivers, because there are new drivers being referred every single day. There are new drivers joining Uber and Lyft every day that have no idea of any of these things, as I once was when I joined in 2017. I had no idea that any of these things existed. The rideshare insurance, the Mile IQ tracker. I had no idea that these things existed, but I stumbled onto these things. So I am trying to pass along the benefit of this information. So again, if you like the content, if you like what I said, you may not particularly care for my particular style, but I am kind of a serious guy. I'm trying to make it more lighthearted and fun and entertaining. But my job primarily is to pass along information. So I'm trying to pass this along in a way that you can understand and be clear. So again, at the end of the day, I just want to say if you like the content, I would ask that you please click the like button and please subscribe, because I will continue to pass along these tidbits as they come up along the way. So again, be safe, have a great day, enjoy your ride share, take care of your customers, and I will see you on my next video.